Ever wondered how a single weapon could change the fate of nations and shape the course of history? Well, in this video, we're diving into one of the most powerful and controversial inventions ever made, nuclear weapons. But don't worry, we'll keep things simple, engaging, and easy to understand. So let's get started. So, what exactly are nuclear weapons? At their core, nuclear weapons are explosive devices that release enormous amounts of energy through nuclear reactions, meaning reactions in which the atomic nucleus of an atom, meaning the core of the atom, is bombarded with an energetic particle. This energy is so powerful that it can cause devastating damage over a wide area. However, before we delve into studying what nuclear weapons are actually, it is best to look into the fields of study behind them. Starting with nuclear physics. Nuclear physics is the study of physics that studies atomic nuclei and their constituents and interactions, in addition to the study of other forms of nuclear matter. Nuclear physics should not be confused with atomic physics, which studies the atom as a whole, including its electrons. Discoveries in nuclear physics have led to applications in many fields, such as nuclear power, nuclear weapons, nuclear medicine, and MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, and many others. Alas, nuclear weapons arose as a resulting combination and culmination of intensive research in these disciplines, especially nuclear physics. There are two main types of nuclear reactions used in nuclear weapons: fission and fusion reactions. In nuclear fission, the nucleus of an atom splits into smaller parts, releasing energy in the process. To elaborate with an example, when bombarded with neutrons, certain isotopes of uranium and plutonium and some other heavier elements will split into atoms of lighter elements. In addition to this formation of lighter atoms, an average of between 2.5 and 3 free neutrons are emitted in the fission process, along with considerable energy, of course. As a rule of thumb, the complete fission of 1 kilograms, aka 2.2 pounds, of uranium or plutonium produces about 17.5 kilotons of TNT equivalent explosive energy. In an atomic bomb or nuclear reactor, first a small number of neutrons are given enough energy to collide with some fissionable nuclei, which in turn produce additional free neutrons. A portion of these neutrons are captured by nuclei that do not fission. Others escape the material without being captured, and the remainder cause further fissions, a sort of artificially created perpetual motion machine-like process. And the minimum mass of fissile material, meaning material that can undergo fission, necessary to sustain a chain reaction, is called the critical mass. Fission weapons are normally made with materials having high concentrations of the fissile isotopes, uranium-235, plutonium-239, or some combination of these. In nuclear fusion, on the other hand, which is even more powerful and cost-efficient, mind you, two nuclei combine to form a new element, releasing energy. Fusion can best be elaborated in this way. At extremely high temperatures, meaning in the range of tens of millions of degrees Celsius, the nuclei of isotopes of hydrogen and some other lighter elements can readily combine to form heavier elements and, in the process, release considerable energy. Hence, fusion weapons are often termed hydrogen bomb. At these temperatures, the kinetic energy of the nuclei, meaning the energy of their motion, is sufficient to overcome the long-range electrostatic repulsive force between them, such that the nuclei can get close enough together for the shorter-range strong force to attract and fuse the nuclei, hence fusion weapons being sometimes referred to as thermonuclear bombs. In thermonuclear weapons, the required temperatures and density of the fusion materials are achieved with the fission explosion. Deuterium and tritium, which are isotopes of hydrogen, provide ideal interacting nuclei for the fusion process. There is also another kind of nuclear reaction, by the way, radioactive decay. This is when an unstable atomic nucleus loses energy by emitting radiation. It's a natural process that occurs over time, and while it's a fundamental concept in nuclear physics, we won't be delving into it in this video. Instead, we'll stay focused on the fission and fusion reactions that are directly related to nuclear weapons. Now, let's take a quick trip back in time to understand the history of nuclear weapons and the reason they were ever made in the first place. So during the 1930s and early 1940s, a time when the world was engulfed in World War II, scientists had just discovered that splitting an atom via fission released an enormous amount of energy. This discovery caught the attention of physicists like Albert Einstein and Leo Szilard, who realized that this powerful energy could potentially be harnessed to create an incredibly destructive weapon. At that time, there was a real fear that Nazi Germany was also working on developing such a weapon. The idea that an enemy might possess such a powerful bomb pushed the United States, which was on the side of the Allied forces fighting against Nazi Germany, to take action. This led to the launch of the Manhattan Project in 1942, a secret research and development program aimed at building the first atomic bomb before the Germans could. In 1945, the first successful test of an atomic bomb, codenamed Trinity, took place in the New Mexico desert. That explosion was equivalent to about 20,000 tons of TNT. A few weeks later, 2 atomic bombs were dropped on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, leading to immense destruction and the end of World War II. These events marked the first and only times nuclear weapons have been used in warfare. After the war, the world entered a period known as the Cold War, where the American states and the Soviet Union built up massive arsenals of nuclear weapons. This led to the concept of mutually assured destruction, or MAD. The idea that if one country launched a nuclear attack, the other would retaliate, leading to total annihilation. Now, let's break down how these weapons work, without getting too technical, of course. Imagine splitting a firecracker in half. Nothing too crazy, right? Now, imagine splitting something much, much smaller, like an atom, and releasing all that energy at once. Yeah, that's what happens in a nuclear bomb. In an atomic bomb, this process is set off by a conventional explosion that compresses a nuclear material, like uranium or plutonium, to a point where a chain reaction occurs. This chain reaction releases a massive amount of energy in the form of a blast, heat, and radiation. And remember, there are also hydrogen bombs, which are even more powerful. They use a small atomic bomb to start a fusion reaction, like what happens in the sun, creating a much bigger explosion. The power of nuclear weapons comes with terrifying consequences. The immediate blast can flatten entire cities, like it did with Hiroshima and Nagasaki, unfortunately, and the intense heat can ignite everything within miles. But the dangers don't stop there. Radiation from the explosion can cause severe health problems, like cancer, and can contaminate the environment for decades. This fallout can spread far beyond the explosion site, affecting people and wildlife across vast regions. This is why nuclear weapons are considered weapons of mass destruction. The damage they cause is unlike anything else known to humanity. So, where do nuclear weapons fit into the world today? Well, while they've only been used in warfare once, thankfully so, many countries still maintain nuclear arsenals as a deterrent. The idea is that by having these weapons, countries can prevent attacks from others. And currently, this is the list of countries which have nuclear weapons. United States, made in 1945. Russia, as successor to the former Soviet Union, made in 1949. The United Kingdom, made in 1952. France, made in 1960. China, made in 1964. India, made and completed in 1974. Pakistan, in 1998. And North Korea, made and completed officially in 2006. And another state that is believed to have nuclear weapons, but is unconfirmed, is Israel. And these are countries which formerly had nuclear weapons, but have now completed their disarmament. First, South Africa, which completed its disarmament in 1991. Second, Kazakhstan, which inherited its nuclear weapons from the Soviet Union in 1991 after the Soviet Union's dissolution, and completed its disarmament in 1995. Ukraine, which inherited its nuclear weapons again from the Soviet Union in 1991 after its collapse, and completed its disarmament in 1996. And lastly, Belarus, which also inherited its nuclear weapons from the Soviet Union after its collapse in 1991, and completed its disarmament in 1996. However, the existence of these weapons also raises big questions about safety and security. What if they fall into the wrong hands? Or what if there's an accidental launch? These concerns have led to various international treaties aimed at controlling and reducing nuclear arms. One of the most well-known treaties is the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, or NPT for short, which seeks to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons and promote disarmament. Looking forward, the future of nuclear weapons is uncertain. On one hand, there's hope for a world free of these devastating weapons, with ongoing efforts to reduce arsenals and prevent proliferation. On the other hand, some countries are modernizing their nuclear forces right now, currently, in the modern era, still, raising concerns about a new arms race. It's a delicate balance between maintaining security and striving for a safer, more peaceful world. What remains clear is that nuclear weapons remain one of the most significant challenges facing humanity. The choices we make today will shape the world for generations to come. And that's a wrap. That's a wrap on our guide to nuclear weapons. We've covered what they are, how they work, their history, and their impact. It's a heavy topic, but understanding it is crucial for grasping the challenges and responsibilities we face in the modern world. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you found that this video ignited some passion for learning more within you, don't forget to like and share my content, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep learning and making the world a better place together.